Whereas one thing that I've noticed from Arsenal and being a fan, I feel like the club is one team, like both the men's and women's side, both the fan base for whatever game you're at, you feel connected and you feel part of this one team, this family network. Welcome back to the Arsenal Humans podcast with me, Luce. I hope you're good. As you can tell, I actually can't stop smiling. Honestly, being a Gooner right now is making me smile. It's making me so happy. I mean, Arsenal just seems to be going from strength to strength and there's no stopping them. Well, that's what I'm hoping anyway. So I feel like we've had a very good week. Obviously, I'll get into the games later in this episode. But first, we're going to take a look at the warm-up poll, which is basically based on the Champions League and how far we can progress. It's focusing on the men because we've just had an unreal performance. But before I waffle anymore, let's get into that. I'm not sure why you wouldn't know this, but if you don't know, for whatever reason, Arsenal are through to the semi-finals of the Champions League, both the men and the women, and this week it was the men that secured their spot on, what night was it? Wednesday night, I want to say. Mental. Like, somehow we very much deserve it, but it's sort of got the question going in my head, which is a question that I put out like a couple months back, and everyone pretty much was like, no, we're not going to do it. Like, why are you being delusional? Now, I don't actually think it's delusional to ask this question. So, the warm-up poll question this week is, can Arsenal go all the way? The poll results show that 83% of you said yes, Arsenal can go all the way, and 17% of you said no. And I'm going to have to agree with the majority. Again, I feel like we've got past quite impressive teams in terms of Champions League. Like, obviously I'll get into more detail in a little bit when I talk about the games, but getting past Real Madrid, mad. Like, if you look at their history, the men's side anyways, women's obviously slightly different, but the men's side anyways, in the Champions League, crazy history, and we've only encountered them a few times. Now I'm happy to say we are unbeaten all the times we have faced Real Madrid, which is kind of crazy saying anyways. But I'm going to have to agree that I think Arsenal can go all the way. Like, if we've somehow managed to beat them both home and away, crazy in itself, then I feel like the teams we do have PSG, and PSG is sort of our favourites. I want to say, I feel like it's PSG, Barca, like they're probably the two favourites. But Arsenal seem to be up there as well. Like, I feel like people aren't ruling them out, and I don't want to rule them out. You know what? It might come across as delusional or whatever, but I'm going to look at it as optimistic that I think Arsenal can get through to that final. I don't know what will happen at that final. Obviously, we do have two very tough fixtures coming up in the next few weeks that we've got to get through first, but it's quite nice to be optimistic, and I thought I'd base that poll around. I thought I'd base this week's warm-up poll around the Champions League because that is what everyone's focusing on. We've had some unreal results earlier on the week in the WSL, which I'm going to get onto, but that is the main result that everyone's talking about, and especially because tomorrow we are playing in the semi-finals of the Women's Champions League. It's just, Champions League chat is everywhere at Arsenal right now, which is so good. I mean, Barcelona and Arsenal are the only two teams to have both their men's and women's side in the semi-finals of this year's Champions League competitions, in their respective competitions, obviously men's and women's. So, yeah, it's feeling good. And this warm-up poll, I just wanted to start this episode feeling even more positive or delusional, whatever you want to call it. So, yeah, I'm hoping you guys agree with me if you are Gooners anyways. And also, to be fair, even if you're not a Gooner, I feel like Arsenal has been getting so much credit recently from other fans. Like, a lot of my friends who don't support Arsenal have recently been like, oh, I hate Arsenal so much, have almost done a lot of hate watches for Arsenal, a phrase that I feel like I spoke about a lot in last episode, so if you want to check that out, episode 23, I mentioned that a lot there. But I feel like, yeah, that is something that it happens a lot towards Arsenal, and I know a lot of the Arsenal fan base gets a bit of hate, but right now, I don't know what you can be hating on. Don't want to get too ahead of myself, but I'm feeling very confident going into this competition. We do have like a week out of it, but you know, we've had a bit of a rocky start actually in the Premier League last week, which I'm going to get onto now, and then we can get onto those good results, the two results at end of the week, in an unreal way that I don't think anyone saw coming. Once again, it has been such a busy week of football for the Arsenal Football Club. I mean, we've got 3 fixtures right here to reflect on, and that is across 3 different competitions. I mean, I'm hoping that we can keep up this momentum and keep being busy. It is a lot to reflect on, and then we do have just looking down further on my notes, we do have 3 more games to look at for next week. But focusing on this week, we did start this week not in the best way, if that's the right way to put it. It was Arsenal 1, Brentford 1. I did actually get this prediction right. I don't know if I should be smiling about this because it was a draw, but I got this prediction right, and this has only happened like 2 times on this podcast, and this is what episode 24, so doing really well for myself. As long as you're not betting based on what my predictions are, then you're doing great in life. But yeah, we aren't going to win the Premier League. Like, we know that. So I feel like almost getting these draws, at least we didn't drop all the points. Just focusing on a few different things in that game briefly. Martinelli had a good performance, and he's been really promising recently. I'm going to talk about him later in the week, obviously, because he was very successful in the Champions League fixture we had. But it's good to see him, I don't know, going from strength to strength, because I feel like his season did start off a little bit poor and quite unlike him. So it's good to see him coming back into his own. The first goal came from Raya, which went to Rice and then to Partey. It's actually crazy. It literally only went to through 3 players to get to the goal. And I feel like all the credit has to go to Rice for this. I mean, if you look through, there's so many posts of him basically looking like he's running in slow-mo, and like so many pictures, still shots of him sprinting through. And yeah, it all literally came from him, like the power he had in it. I mean, he is literally becoming the player that everyone at Arsenal is talking about right now. I mean, he sure is cooking. It is Rice's time right now at Arsenal. It's his time. I don't know what else I could say, any more phrases, because honestly, he's the and rightfully so. There obviously was 1 goal from Brentford, which was Wizard, who equalised, and to be fair, it was a pretty mad goal in itself. I mean, his body was almost like the wrong way, like it was a corner. His body was basically facing the wrong way, and he just kicked it like almost swiveled around, which is just mad. So yeah, he basically wasn't even looking at that goal. Saka did have a chance, didn't capitalise on it. He basically took too long on the ball, so we probably could have got it, and then there were other chances later on. There was also a goal at the beginning that got called offside. It just didn't really seem to be our day, but we did get 1 point at least from that fixture. But I mean, if you look at Newcastle's results recently, Forest, like there's a few clubs that are like pretty much getting up there in the Premier League. So as much as I'm like, yeah, we want to focus on Champions League, and it won't really matter in terms of our Champions League fixtures next season if we do win this league, but if we don't, we need to have the backup to make sure that we actually are staying in the top 3, top 4. I mean, I think we shouldn't be dropping any further than 3rd place, but hopefully we can carry on doing that. Moving on to the WSL, which this game, another 5-star performance from Slager's side, which is mental. I mean, there's literally so many stats on this game. Arsenal 5, Leicester 1, and yeah, it's a little bit more than I predicted. I can't remember exactly what I predicted, but I did not see 5-1 happening. I feel like Arsenal are just on fire right now. Like we're getting goals like there's no tomorrow. It's actually mental. So yeah, I obviously said there's a lot of stats that have come from this game, a lot of posts that you'd see. It seems like the WSL Instagram account has been our bestie this last week, because there's so many posts that have come from them about Arsenal, and just a few that I want to mention. There's one that's about Beth Mead having the best goal conversion rate this season, which is 32%. Obviously doesn't sound like a lot, but when you compare it to other players, and she's not even a striker as well, like it is crazy what she's doing, and she's come back from injury. Like the list could go on and on and on. There's one as well basically saying it's the dream start to 2025 because it's got our goals and the games we've played. And honestly, there is a part of me, and I'm thinking, if we kept Jonas Edeval for longer, would we be at this position? Also, the flip of that, if we got rid of him in the summer before the season started, could we actually be lifting that WSL trophy at the end of the season? I mean, there's still a chance, because after this game, we've gone 3 points behind Chelsea, which seems like, oh my god, the title race is heating up. We're so close. They do have a game in hand, and it means they have to lose in the last 4 games. They have to lose 2 games, which if they lose, I think it says more about them than it does Arsenal, because it'll be amazing for Arsenal, but for them it would just make them look so bad that they've literally been so far ahead and then they just lose it in the last thing. I see it's very unlikely, but there is still that hope. But there's also one more post that came from the Attacking Third Instagram account, so not the WSL one, and they basically showed the last 7 games in the WSL, and we've had 7 straight home WSL wins with more than 4 goals in each. What? It's actually mental. Like, I mean, if you look, it's like there's like a 5-1, a 5-0, a 4-4, 4-5, 4, like literally all of these games. And I love that I've been at most of them as well to witness all of these performances, because it's actually been unreal. I mean, just focusing back to just this game itself, Ford got 2, Blackstenius got 1, Mead also found the score sheet, and then Pelova got her first one back after her ACL injury, which has been like a year or something, which is actually mental. It's so good to see her returning and getting a goal as well. The only weakness, which I think is kind of crazy for me to actually find a weakness in this game, but if I had to pick one weakness, it's probably going to be Zinsberger. I feel like the ball, like the goal they scored, it sort of just rolled in and she just looked. And I was like, I mean, it's not that deep because obviously we won the game by a lot, but I'm just looking ahead to the next few games. We've got Champions League. We want to secure at least the second spot in the WSL. And it's looking like DVD, Daphne Van Domselaar, is going to be out because she was on international duty, got a little bit of an injury, an ankle one, I'm pretty sure. So it's looking like she's going to be out for another couple of games. So we're relying on Zinsberg, and I feel like I don't know. I don't want to disrespect too much. She was amazing a few years ago for us. I feel like her time has come now at the end of the season. I don't see why she would still be with us at Arsenal. And yeah, I just feel like I don't have full confidence in her, which is not the best. But that's probably the only weakness I'd point out. To be fair as well, the goal was probably a bit of poor communication, because I feel like she after was like, guys, like, what's going on? Because obviously they all just sort of watched it and was like, what? So we're obviously putting all the blame on her, but I do feel like that's maybe some defensive communication that was lacking as well. But yeah, I'm just excited after this game that it is tighter in the WSL. We are getting there, and yeah, I'm just so excited to keep watching Arsenal play. I feel like they're adding so much passion, they're fueling so much passion and excitement in us Arsenal fans, and I just love being there. I love watching them at home. It doesn't matter if I'm at the game, at home, or whatever, I've still got that same buzz for them. And that's something that's quite rare, especially in WSL. I feel like quite a few clubs don't have this fan base, so I'm so proud to be part of this fan base, and I'm just hoping we can keep winning and going from strength to strength. And then the final game of the week, which arguably has had the most attention when you type in Arsenal Football Club, it's going to take you to this. And the thought that the question, the warm-up poll that I came up with at the beginning of this episode is obviously based around this. And that is that it was Real Madrid 1, Arsenal 2. We are through to the semi-finals of the Champions League. I mean, I did predict 2-1, just the other way round. Which, you know what? I'm happy it worked out this way rather than the other way. I mean, we were through either way, no matter which 2-1 prediction, but it's just crazy. I mean, what I do find crazy coming out of this game is that Arsenal's still unbeaten against Real Madrid. Like, that's crazy. I mean, obviously, don't get me wrong, it's kind of in our favour that we haven't faced them many times over the years, which is very much in our favour, because you look at what they've done in Champions League, like, they are reigning champions of this competition. So the fact that we obviously haven't really played them, that definitely has benefited us, but we haven't even got the chance to. Whereas last year, we went out at this stage in the Champions League, whereas now we're progressing further, and we're progressing against such a big team, such an iconic team. I mean, I do feel like Real Madrid, if you look at them, defensively, they're quite weak. And in terms of the big stars, they're all individuals. There's no team. Whereas one thing that I've noticed from Arsenal, and being a fan, I feel like the club is one team, like both the men's and women's side, both the fan base, for whatever game you're at, you feel connected and you feel part of this one team, this family network, which it feels so good. It, makes me a little bit emotional. Like, it feels so good to be a part of. So I just look at Real Madrid, I'm like, there's some disconnection between the players on the pitch, which then sort of is disconnecting the fans. The results aren't reflecting that. They're wanting to get rid of the manager. Like, it just, a lot of issues seem to be stemming from that. But focusing purely on the game itself, I'm going to start off negative because then we'll get that out of the way real quick. Saka did miss a penalty. I don't really know how to talk through this one. I feel like if it worked, oh my god, it would have been amazing. But I saw what he was trying to do. It was like people are comparing it to like the Panenka style penalty, and I think if it went more central, it would have gone in, obviously, and it would have been cheeky. Like if it worked, oh my god, it would have been like crazy, like this little cheeky little chip in the back of the net. But the fact that it sort of went slightly to the left of the goal, and that's where the keeper went, it just didn't go in. And I feel like that starting off the game, I was like, oh my god, this is not the start we wanted. This is not the start we wanted. Then suddenly, then the star boy obviously redeemed himself. He got the first goal, found the back of the net, which is crazy. Like imagine performing. Like I feel like the pressure. It's just crazy. All these youngsters are turning up and they're like, yeah, we're gonna score here. Like whoa, you realise the pressure, but it's good that it's not really getting to them. Martinelli did also get a goal after. I mean, before that they did equalise, kind of down to Saliba, but that's minor details. Because then Martinelli obviously scored. Like I've said at the beginning, and like I keep saying in the last few episodes, it's so good to see him just going from strength to strength each week. I feel like he's really shown up recently. There's been a lot of debate around the attacking, like around the attacking players at Arsenal more recently, and I think with Havertz being out, not having an out and out striker, like he's really had to step up, and he definitely has. This is just mad. Like literally on my notes I've just put mad because this is crazy that I'm even saying any of this. And obviously linking this game back to the warm-up poll, I do feel like there has been a new sense of hope fueled into the fan base. Like I don't even think it's delusional at this point, because if you saw our performances the last 2 games, we're impressive. We are an impressive club to watch, to play against, to support. Like it's just all very impressive. So I'm excited. The semi-finals will be on the 29th of April, which I think is a Tuesday, and then the 7th of May. Not sure what day that is. So it's not actually too far away. I mean, we do have a week with a couple of Premier League games, which I'll get into that at the end of this episode. So we've got some time before. But yeah, first leg is a home leg, which I don't know how I feel about that. I mean, obviously tomorrow the women are playing and it's the home leg for the first leg as well. And I feel like you kind of want to finish on the home leg because then you know what you're getting yourself into. But we're starting at home, so we need to make sure for both the men's and women's we take full advantage of being at home straight away and get the goal tally as high up as we can. There's no point in going to this away fixture for either competition, like drawing or winning 1-0. You need to be winning at least, scoring at least a few goals just to prove that you can. Keeping a clean sheet is preferable, but we'll see. But either way, I feel like those 3 games I've just spoken about, mine's the first one actually, the last 2 games of the week, unreal. Like it has overall been such a good week, and I think our priorities are completely straight. Like it's so good that Arteta was focusing more on the Champions League rather than the Premier League, because at the end of the day, Premier League we're not going to win, Champions League we actually might win. So I feel like priorities have been good, and we've got an exciting 3 games coming up. I mean, tomorrow's game is arguably the most exciting one, and I'm literally buzzing to go. So let me chat about that in one sec. Okay, we are at the prediction section of the episode, and we've got 3 games to look ahead to. The first one, as I've mentioned a few times because I'm so excited about it, is Arsenal versus Lyon. It is tomorrow in the semi-finals, the first leg of the Women's Champions League. And yeah, what else can I say? It's at the Emirates, 12:30 kickoff. I'm going to be there. I'm going with my friend Jamie, so I'm super excited. If you want to see our view from it, then make sure you check out my socials, which is loose.case, because I'll definitely be posting a few things. I'm hoping if it goes very well, which is what I'm predicting anyways, then should have some good content up, some good pictures. To be fair, I feel like when I go as a fan to these games, I literally get a photo like maybe before the game started and a photo like after the game, and then maybe a video. But like I used to do like come with me to this, but then now I've realised the importance of living in the moment when you're a fan. I think because I work in football 5 days a week, 5 mornings a week, I'm so much like working on it, thinking it from analytical point of views, whereas tomorrow I'm looking forward to just being a fan, you know. Bit off topic, but I feel like it's just a thought that popped into my head. Focusing on the game itself, I am going to predict a 3-1 win to Arsenal. I'm hoping it's a 3-1 win anyways. I mean, Lyon are not an easy side at all. Like, not at all. To be fair, I think what I'm most thinking about is like, what do I wear? Because I feel like when you go to an Arsenal women's game, or an Arsenal game in general, but especially the women's side, people come up looking like, oh, okay, like I see you in all their different retro shirts, or maybe they've got some baggy jeans with it, or like there's a lot based on like what Arsenal fans look like, and obviously got to bring a scarf. I'm not really sure which one. I feel like I might bring this one because I quite like the retro badge of it more so. But yeah, there's definitely like a bit of a pressure, not a pressure, but like you want to look good, you want to feel good, team looks good, they play good, that sort of vibe. And it is just so cool seeing the variety of the amount of kits. Firstly, Arsenal bring out, you can see the whole shot basically from the stadium, and then all the different scarves, all the different accessories, people making their own shirts and kits and things like that. So yeah, I'm excited about the atmosphere. Focusing on the competition itself, we've done so well to get through to the semi-finals. I mean, we did it a couple years ago, and then we went out, and who was that against? Wolfsburg. I was at the Emirates. I was actually working that. I was in the press box, and that was too tense because obviously they scored, and like, I mean, wait, actually, this is taking me back. Jen Beattie scored, yeah, that massive header, and then she just bodied them out of the way, and she was like, nah, like, I am her, she is her, sort of vibe. And then they ended up winning. Laura Vainreuter also did her ACL that game. There was a lot going on that game. And then like last season, and then the following season from that, we then ended up getting knocked out by Paris before even any of the group stages. So that was just crazy. And then this season, I think we've got the chance to really prove ourselves. And yes, the 4 teams left, Barcelona, Chelsea, Lyon and Arsenal. These 4 teams are good teams, but I think if we can play how we did last time, if Alessia Russo's on form, if Chloe Kelly's on form, if we've got all these players, Beth Mead, I mean, I could list literally with the whole squad, then I think we have a very good chance. Lyon aren't an easy side though, because Lyon have actually won this competition 8 times. We've won it once, obviously the only English side to do it, and I'd like to keep it that way. So if Barcelona could do one over Chelsea, that would be amazing. But yeah, they've won it 8 times, and obviously that could be from any team. I mean, when we won it, that was back in the early 2000s. We're a complete different side right now. So Lyon are a complete different side, but they're a very good side. I mean, if you just look at their potential starting lineup, it's scary. So is ours. Don't get me wrong, so is ours. But theirs is very, very scary. Also, to make matters slightly worse, DVD is pretty much likely to be out because of her injury that she got on international duty, which it does scare me. It does scare me that we're going to have Zinsberger in the net, but I am confident because she has got experience in these bigger competitions. Because she's been with at the club obviously for longer than DVD, so she's got that experience. I mean, also the fact that Wendy Renard, who is an icon of the game, she's a legend. She is potentially making her return because she's been out injured, and this could be her 500th appearance for Lyon. 500. That's crazy. That is crazy. Like, that's when I say she's a legend, I don't say that lightly. Like, she is literally a legend of the game. Someone you don't want to play against. And yeah, we're going to be playing against her tomorrow. To be fair, it's just great to watch these legends in front of me when I'm sat at the Emirates. But I'm hoping they don't play like legends. Because yeah, both lineups are looking very promising. But I am confident with the 3-1. If we show up like we have, then I'm hoping we can really pull through. Obviously, like I mentioned, this is our home leg, so we need to really take as much as we can from this game, get as many goals as we can. I'm saying 3-1. I'm hoping we can go higher. I'm hoping they don't score, but because of who's in the net, I'm thinking not as confidently about it, but I am trusting Zinsberg. I feel like she definitely can bring that experience to this game, which is what we need at this stage in the competition. So I'm excited about the game, but it's not looking like an easy one, if I'm being honest. So I'm hoping next week when I come back to this podcast for episode 25, I'm hoping it's a positive one about this game. Moving on to the men's Premier League fixtures, there are 2 actually this week. We have Ipswich versus Arsenal on Sunday, which is just obviously the day after this weekend. And then we have Arsenal versus Crystal Palace, which is on Wednesday in the Premier League, which is an 8 p.m. kickoff. I feel like all the fixtures are just a bit disjointed, like they're just sort of put anywhere at whatever time, but it makes sense because obviously we are competing in other competitions as well, which I'm not complaining about, which is very good. Both games we need to win. I'm going to say Ipswich, we're going to win 3-0, Palace 2-1 or something. I'm not too confident that we'll be able to get really high results in both, but I think we need to show that we actually want to turn up and obviously have that confidence going into the following week when we play in the Champions League. And there will be like a week or just under a week between the Palace game and then the PSG game. So like it's not like we've got to rest these players because in a couple of days' time, like they will have time to rest, and if anything, you want to keep that momentum going. So we do need to win. Palace have obviously just lost 5-0 to Newcastle. Newcastle are literally right on our tails in the league table. So if we want to keep proving why we should be up at the top, then we basically need to batter them. But obviously with my prediction, I'm not the most confident, but I definitely think Ipswich, we need to prove why they're getting relegated and why we should be in that title race, potentially winning the Champions League, you know. So I feel like it's an exciting few days of fixtures coming up, and obviously I'm buzzing about the game tomorrow. If you're going, let me know where you're sat. I feel like it would be a good vibe. So yeah, I'm excited. Perfect. That is the end of this episode. I really hope you enjoyed watching or listening, depending on what platform you're watching or listening on. If you're listening on Spotify, I'd really appreciate a follow and any star rating you'd like to give. And then if you're watching on YouTube, a thumbs up, subscribe, comment, anything related to this video. I feel like this is a really good time to be a Gooner, so it's great to always connect with other Gooners. And if you don't support Arsenal, I really appreciate you watching through to this point, and hopefully you're just as impressed as us Gooners are. But yeah, that is the end of this episode. I'm hoping next week the podcast will come out at the end of the week, before the weekend. I'm hoping it'll be a very positive one after the few fixtures we've got coming up, and I'm feeling good, you know, so I hope you are too. Thanks for watching.